Why did the villagers said Amaka was an evil Ogbanje? Sit down, grab your popcorn, and let me tell you what happened. Deep in the heart of the land, where the great river kissed the feet of an ancient village named Oloru, a story was whispered among elders. It was a story of a child born of the river and the land, neither fully human nor fully spirit. This child was named Amaka, after the waters that bore her. She was no ordinary girl. Her beauty was unsettling, her presence an outstanding. She had the face of a human, the grace of a queen, and a voice that made even the birds halt in the sky. But beneath her waist, hidden from prying eyes, were the secrets of her birth, scales of silver blue and feet webbed like the creatures of the deep. Her mother, Asabi, had once wandered too far into the forbidden river where she was taken by an unseen force, returning pregnant and 1,000 yards there. No man claimed fatherhood of the child. Amaka grew in the village, always an outcast. The elders called her an evil Ogbanje. The villagers spoke in hushed tones. Children feared her. Mothers put their babies closer when she passed. And yet none could deny the pull of her haunting presence. Some even believed that she carried the spirit of the river gods. The river was the only place Amaka found peaceful. Whenever the people of the village shunned her, she wandered to the riverbank, her bare feet sinking into the soft sands around the river. The river whispered her name, its voice a melody that only she could understand. She often sat by the riverbank, speaking in a tongue older than time, a language she had never been taught. One evening, while the village prepared for a great festival, Amaka sat alone, watching the water shift in the dying light of the sun. Then the whispers changed. The river moved violently, waves rising unnaturally against the shore. A shadow slithered beneath the surface. Amaka's heart pounded, and she trembled in fear. Amaka, a voice spoke from the water. She stepped forward as he was breathing fast. A woman with the upper body of a human being and down her waist was a fish body. Daughter of water and flesh, the woman from the river said, "Come home." Amaka moved backward. She was afraid, but she could not understand what was happening. She thought of how the villagers had always treated her. The villagers had always said she did not belong among them. What if they were right? What if her true home was beneath the river's depths? But as the moment passes, Amaka could not understand or explain what she had encountered in the river. The next morning, Amaka woke up to chaos. An elder had died in his sleep, his face frozen in a scream. His wife, trembling, swore she had heard the river speaking in the night. The village buzzed with fear, and soon their suspicion turned towards Amaka. "She was by the river last night," one man whispered. "She was speaking to something," another added. The villager accused her of having a hand in the death of the elder because of her mysterious encounter. It was not long before the chief's messengers came for her. She was dragged to the council of elders, where the oldest among them, Baba Joromi, studied her with weary eyes. "You have been cursed from birth," he said. "There is a debt that must be paid." Amaka stood her ground. "I have done nothing." "You are an evil Ogbanje," the elder replied. He told the story of a similar things that happened a long time ago in their village. A woman who had been taken by the river, only to return pregnant without anyone knowing the father of the child. That woman had given birth to an abomination, one that could not remain on land for long. When she resisted the river's call, misfortune befell the village. Crops withered, men vanished, and the waters grew restless. "The river will not let you go, child," Baba Joromi warned Amaka. "If you do not return to it willingly, it will bring chaos to the land." Days passed, and fear grew like a festering wound in Oloru. The riverbank darkened, the fish disappeared, and children grew sick. Then, one by one, villagers began to die. A hunter went missing near the river bank. His gun was found broken, his footprints ending abruptly at the river bank. A mother went to wash clothes and never returned. A child's laughter was heard near the river, followed by a silence so deep it chilled the air. The village turned on Amaka. "She is calling them," they cried. "She is the river's curse." That night, as Amaka slept, the whispers returned. This time, they spoke of hunger, of longing, of the price to be paid. When she woke up, her mother was gone. Her room was empty. The only sign of her is a trace of her footprints leading toward the river. Grief clawed at Amaka's chest. She ran to the river, screaming for her mother, but the river only stared back, silent and knowing. Amaka was filled with sorrow. Amaka did what she had feared all her life. She stepped into the river. The river welcomed her, pulling her in like an old lover. Cold hands wrapped around her wrists, her ankles, her throat. The world blurred, and then she was sinking down into a darkness that had waited for her since birth. She saw the lost people of the village, their eyes filled with the knowledge of what they had become. And then she saw her mother as she cried silently. The truth came crashing down upon her. Her existence had been a curse from the beginning. She had been given the illusion of choice, but in reality, the river had always owned her. It had merely been waiting. Above the water, Oloru waited. Days passed, then weeks. The river calmed. Its anger had seemingly stopped. The village tried to move on, but something was missing. They could no longer hear laughter in the streets at dusk. The crops grew, but tasted of ash. The sky darkened too soon. The wind carried whispers. Then, one night, the villagers saw her. Amaka stood at the riverbank, watching. Her face was beautiful as the moon, her hair tangled with riverweed. She did not blink. She did not breathe. She did not belong to the land anymore. One by one, the villagers locked their doors. They dared not go near the river again, but every night she was there, watching, waiting, and soon they knew the river would grow hungry again. Amaka stood at the riverbank, her silver blue scales glistening under the pale moonlight. Though she no longer belonged to the land, something deep within her refused to let go. The village had feared her, cast her away, yet a part of her heart still beats for the people of Oloru. But the river whispered, its voice laced with the hunger of old gods and restless spirits. It had claimed her, and it would not let her go. The village remained in terror. Every night, doors were bolted shut, windows covered with cloths. Prayers whispered over flickering lamps. Some villagers, unable to bear the presence of the girl they had cast away, fled Oloru altogether. Others fell into despair, their once thriving home now shadowed by an unshakable curse. One evening, Baba Joromi, the eldest of the council, decided he could bear it no longer. Clutching his sacred staff, he made his way to the river, ignoring the warnings of those who feared he would be lost like the others. He approached Amaka, who stood unmoving at the riverbank, her eyes void of emotion but filled with something ancient and unreadable. "Child of water and flesh," Baba Joromi called, his voice steady despite his age. "Why do you haunt this place?" Amaka did not blink. "I am neither dead nor alive," she whispered. "The river took me, but it did not consume me. It waits, it watches, it will never be satisfied." Baba Joromi tightened his grip on his staff. There must be a way to end this. For the first time in weeks, Amaka's expression changed. Pain flickered in her eyes. "There is only one way," she said. "The river's debt must be repaid, but not with my life. The river wants what was stolen to be paid." The old man frowned. "What was stolen?" "My mother," Amaka replied. "She was taken against her will last night because they think I was responsible for the death of the elder. The river did not choose her. She was kidnapped at the middle of night and taken to the river, and now it punishes the land. Understanding dawned on Baba Joromi. He knew of the legends, the stories of ancient pacts, of spirits demanding tribute. If the river had been wronged, then its rage would never subside until justice was restored. That night, Baba Yoromi gathered the remaining elders and told them of Amaka's words. Though many were still afraid, they understood the truth. The village had shunned Amaka, but the fault had never been hers. If they wanted peace, they had to right the wrongs of the past. A ritual was prepared. The village drummers played songs that had not been heard in generations, their rhythms calling to the spirits. The women adorned themselves in white, the color of purity and renewal. The elders carried offerings of fruit, fish, and sacred oils to the riverbank, and at the center of it all stood Amaka, her scales shimmering like liquid silver. As the final drum beats echoed into the night, the river began to move. Slowly, its surface rippled, then churned violently. A deep voice, neither man nor woman, neither old nor young, emerged from the depths. The debt must be paid, it rumbled. Amaka stepped forward. Then take what was taken from you, she said. Take the truth, take justice, take what belongs to you. The water swirled, rising high into the sky, twisting like a great serpent. And then from the depths, a figure emerged. It was Asabi, Amaka's mother. Her eyes, once lost to sorrow, were now clear. Her body, once bound to the river, was now free. The villagers gasped. Many fell to their knees, some in awe, others in terror. The river spoke again. The balance is restored. The waters receded. The winds calmed. The air, once thick with whispers, grew silent. Asabi fell into Amaka's arms, sobbing, her body warm against her daughter's own. She was alive. She was home. And Amaka, she stepped back, looking at the people who had once cast her aside. Some still looked at her with fear, others with shame. But in their eyes, she saw something else too, hope. The river had released her, but she knew she could never fully return. She was a child of two worlds, forever standing between them. With one final glance at her mother, Amaka turned and walked toward the water. But this time, it did not pull her under. It did not claim her. Instead, it carried her forward, deeper into its embrace, until she was one with it. The people of Oloru never saw Amaka again, but they felt her presence in the river's song, in the gentle waves that lapped at the riverbank, in the life that flourished once more. The village was healed, the crops grew lush, and laughter returned to the streets. And though the river still whispered at night, its voice was no longer filled with hunger. It was filled with peace. Amaka had given herself to the water, not as a curse, but as a guardian, and Oloru would never forget her name.